Does your calico have you totally confused? Are your Goldens acting a little gangsta? Well, if you love your dogs and cats, I have to assume you do, and really truly want to understand their behavior almost as well as they get yours. Maybe you just want to improve their lifestyle a little bit. You know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch, you know what to do. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I've been stressing every single week for over 45 years, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergrowing Pet Show family, and I do consider this, after all these years, a family, if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, maybe you're just confused about why they behave a certain way, they're jumping, they're digging, your cat is scratching, not using a litter box, you can't take your dog for a walk because he goes nuts when he sees another dog. You get the idea, right? That's what the Pet Show has always been all about. We love our dogs, we adore our cats, but if we can communicate better, even that relationship that is already so immensely strong can get better and better and better. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions, or if you'd like to share stories about dogs or cats you may have rescued, I'd love to hear from you guys as well. I got a few items to give away on today's show also. So if you have a question or comment, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me give you that again, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. No matter what question you have in terms of your dog or cat's behavior, maybe they really have you baffled. Maybe you've spoken to trainers, maybe you've spoken to behaviorists, and they really come up with ideas, but they don't take the time to figure out the cause. And if you really want to know what is causing your dog or cat to behave a certain way, what's the best way, the most positive way, the loving way, the hugs and kisses way to improve your relationship, you've come to the right place. Question or comment, want to share a great story, just brag about an amazing dog or cat. I say this every week, but every time someone calls about a dog or cat that they saved or they rescued, or an older dog or an older cat, or a challenged dog or a challenged cat, it encourages other people to join in. And so it's always a great idea. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So you may be wondering what's coming up on today's show. Boy, do we have a show for you today. Now, I've been criticized. You guys know that. Have you ever, listen to me carefully, have you ever locked eyes with your dogs? I mean, really locked eyes? Have you ever wondered why your dog stares at you from time to time? Many so-called experts, behaviorists, trainers, guardians describe a dog stare as a challenge. They're dominant. They're alpha. That stare means they want to challenge you. What does that stare really means? Wait till you get Warren's answer coming up a little bit later on today's show. And believe me, having been stared at by probably more dogs than any other human being, I got the real answer for you coming up. And you know, I love cats. I haven't had cats. I don't live with cats right now, but I've always had as many as 30 cats and even more at a time. And did you know that cat arthritis is a very, very common condition that can cause painful joints and make moving uncomfortable? And a lot of people don't understand what's going on. Well, besides working with your veterinarian, which is a great thing to do, coming up a little bit later, I put together what I call my series of several home things. I want to say home remedies, but they're not really remedies, but things you can do to make your cats more comfortable and keep them as happy as possible if they do, in fact, start suffering with arthritis, which a good majority of cats do. Also coming up on today's show, I didn't get to it last week. What a shock. Why dogs ignore the people they walk with when they go for walks. You ever wonder why your dog ignores you? You take her for a walk and you want to talk to them and just like you don't exist? Also coming up from last week, I didn't get to it. Can you claim your pet's taxes? Can you claim your pet on your tax return? Now, I hope the IRS isn't listening. It's been years since I did it, but there was a time in my life where legitimately, because of my career and what I was doing in the military, I was able to deduct a lot of my pet's expenses. And so, but can you do that now? We'll find out coming up a little bit later. Don't tell anyone, the IRS may be listening. Also, a lot of people have been saying, hey, Warren, I know you wrote an autobiography. I know how many pets you've trained. We'd like to hear your personal stories. Well, I was thinking about that. I've given you some personal stories in the past, and I'll continue giving some. But this one's from my files. One of my listeners, many of you guys have rescued and adopted your dogs, right? I mean, dogs from shelters and off the streets and whatever. So the question always comes up, do dogs have memories of past traumatic experiences, past traumas they've gone through? They do. And I'm going to tell you about a specific story many, many years ago. I wasn't that long out of the service and back in the U.S., but I got called in to work with a dog that was horribly, horribly abused. And in order to resolve the issue, and I'll go over it a little bit later, there's a couple of things I had to do. I had to put on a pair of glasses, wear the stupidest hat I ever saw in my life, and literally, before even attempted to resolve the issue with this dog, I was just out of the service. I was clean shaven. I had to grow a beard to deal with the behavior in this dog. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Now, you're going to hear me talk a lot about changes that may be coming up on the Pet Show. And one of the most important things that you can do, if you've been following the Pet Show for 45 years, and we got another 45 to go, but I'm going to be doing a lot more on my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribing to me on YouTube, get there. We're doing it live right now, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Warren Eckstein. There's a lot of videos there, a lot more stuff I'm going to be doing there. So it's kind of like a whole unique way that we can share information about our pets, and I can guide you even further. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Though I sound a little different today, Alex, it's because Arizona, as you know, does not follow daylight savings time. So for the last 6 months, when I normally start my show at 11, for you guys it was 11. For me, it was already 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm done. I want to eat and go for a walk with the dogs. But we're back on the same time now. As far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at my clock. It says 11:10 a.m., which I guess is the same time in California. 866-870-KRLA. Let me take a couple of calls here. We're going to get to you, Ellen. We'll get to you, Gloria. Please be patient with me. If I don't get to you right away, have a cup of coffee, grab a biscuit for yourself. Whatever you need to do, I will get to your call. But right now, let's go to my friend Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello there. Thank you so much. I am inquiring about a puppy that we rescued on February 1st. He, at that time, was 13 weeks old. They believe he's a bully breed. I just did the DNA thing, but I don't have the results back. He went through a lot of trauma, like a lot of dogs do, unfortunately,
Sure.
before they're rescued. And he, I'm glad that you're going to talk about past trauma and how that affects him going forward. But he's just been so slow to potty train. And I think we got spoiled by English Labradors that we've had that do almost immediately get potty trained.
Yeah, but this dog, as you say, this dog's been through some serious situations. So comparing him to a puppy that you brought up without the trauma, that's not fair. But anyway, let's see what we can do. How old is the puppy now?
I don't know if I'm spoiling him too much because if I'm overcompensating for what he has gone through, I'm now retired, so I'm home with him all day. And I try and get him out, every half hour or so. But I do a lot of snuggling, a lot of loving. I mean, he gets to sleep on the bed. He's spoiled rotten.
Contrary, Jacqueline, to what everyone else is telling you, as far as I'm concerned. As long as you're consistent and as long as you take the time to educate, you cannot overspoil. That's number one. Now, especially a dog. Listen, my 2 rescue dogs, they would have never survived, and they get spoiled. These dogs are wet all day long from me kissing them. Anyway, here's the scenario. When you have, how old is the dog exactly now?
So we got him February 1st. They said he was 13 weeks at that time. So what, about 6 more weeks, about 19 weeks old now?
Oh, let's say he's 20 weeks old, okay? So he's real young. When you're not with him, where is he kept?
We have only left him twice unattended, and I put him in a kennel because I have a 13-year-old Yorkie, and the 2 of them are not liking each other yet. And I'm afraid that he might accidentally injure the little guy.
Okay, yeah, and we want to make sure we get them to get along. So I'm going to urge you to go to the YouTube channel and check out First Pet Psychology. But let's focus on the housebreaking. Housebreaking a dog at this point, he's probably been in the habit of going and having to stay with his own mess, so that makes it a drop more difficult. However, the bottom line with housebreaking is watch or confine, no in between. Now, I am not a big fan of kennel training. I believe everyone should have a crate or a kennel in their home for emergencies. What I generally recommend is people gate off a small area in the kitchen of their home for 2 reasons. Number one, we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, at least in my house. And number 2 is that generally the kitchen floor, if there are accidents, it's the easiest to clean up. And most of the time, there's a door out of the kitchen into the backyard or something to that effect. Yeah. So here's the situation. If you cannot watch him with a hawk eye, if you're sitting around in the living room watching TV, maybe have him on a leash for now, or just watch him real carefully. If you notice him starting to sniff, you kind of get him right out. If you can't watch him, confine him in a small area in the kitchen. Now, once he keeps that area clean, you can start increasing that area a little bit at a time. Also, I don't know what you're cleaning up with, but it's imperative that you clean up with an enzymatic cleaner made specifically for pet stain and odors, because all of the other products that most people run to have ammonia in them. So does urine, so does poop, so we're not getting rid of the odor. So confine or watch is pretty much the way to go. It makes all the difference in the world. A little bit of patience here and there. No yelling, no screaming, because if you say bad dog for having an accident, very often this is a dog that didn't receive a lot of attention and associates attention as being a good thing, whether he did something wrong or not. So we have to be conscientious about that as well.
He like when I take them for a walk too, like he'll lunge and bark at other people coming toward us. And, neither of my other dogs have modeled that. So I'm also hoping that I'll, with patience and finding.
Well, it's a matter of patience. Patience is critical. Having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine is important too, but more important than anything else, training is critical. No one is more of a proponent of educating our pets than I am. But at the same time, I don't want a perfect pet. But what you need to do right now, besides all the housebreaking, besides teaching the dog to speak 3 languages, exposure, socialize, expose, socialize, and then expose and socialize some more. I would literally be inviting close friends over, tell them to put on their sweats, sit on the floor with the dog, socialize as much as possible. Then what I would do, if you know someone who has a dog that's relatively good with other dogs, maybe you can start walking with that person and their dog and your dog a little further apart so they're not on top of each other. But when you're outside, if you're in an area specifically where maybe there were other pets or raccoons or possums, your dog's focus will not be on each other. It'll be a little bit more on the other things distracting them around. And we're going to talk about that later as well. But if you put all those pieces together, I'm sure you're going to be fine. And again, bless you for taking in this dog that had such a tough time.
It wasn't a plan. I saw this picture.
They never are.
For the moment, we drove 2 hours to get him and haven't looked back. My heart's bigger than my brain sometimes, but that's okay.
Listen, this is going to be
to-
the best thing for the dog, and this is going to be the best thing for you. Listen, I want you to go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. But you sound like a really lovely lady. I'm also going to put you on hold, and the lovely Suzette will pick up, and I'm going to send you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. There's a lot of things in there that will guide you as well, of the making sure you build up the confidence and the self-image and the self-esteem. You know, a lot of people say, well, I just got to train the dog to sit. No, you have to take the time to make the dog's personality, to make the dog's social life. You have to build that up a little bit at a time. May sound eccentric to some people, but you guys know my background. I challenge anyone to challenge me on that. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then we'll get back to Ellen, Gloria. We'll get to you, Jim, as well. Right now, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lucy Pet Products. Pet Show. You know, I forgot to ask the question of the day. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was asking them if they were really in tune with their way their pet's body language works. So that's kind of the question I'm going to toss out to you guys. Can you read your pet's body language, or do you know what your pet is wanting or doing based on their body language? Without them barking or meowing, can you read your pet's body language? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We're going to get to you, Ellen, Gloria, Jim, just a second. Before we do that, a lot of you know I studied for a lot of years in Europe, and every once in a while I like to share some of my education from there. You know, given the choice, and a lot of people are unaware of this, but given the choice, dogs actually prefer to meet each other sideways in an arch rather than head on. The reason for that, head on, which may be perceived as confrontational. By meeting each other sideways, this allows both dogs to sniff each other's rear end. Doesn't sound great, but by doing that, they learn more about each other through the release of their doggy pheromones. So if you ever notice that sometimes when dogs get to each other, rather than trying to confront each other head on, what they'll do is they'll confront each other, or they won't confront each other, but they'll go sideways. So a lot of dogs will meet sideways. I think that's something that pet guardian should try to understand. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know what? One of the subjects I'm going to talk about a little bit later is that dogs with an abusive past may associate certain objects or experiences with negative memories, triggering fear that manifests itself in other ways. So anyone out there have a dog that they've rescued, or a cat that they rescued that they believe has gone through a lot of abuse, and what they've done to bring them around? I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Give me a call. You guys are amazing at giving that information to my listeners, as I am. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Gloria first, then Jim. Hey, Gloria in Burbank. Welcome to the Pet Show. Hi, Gloria. Gloria, where are you? Oh, did we lose Gloria? Gloria, call us back. I'm going to have to hang up on Gloria. Instead, we're going to go to Jim. Hey, Jim, welcome to the Pet Show.
Well, thank you very much.
How can I help you, Jim?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I can barely hear you, but that's okay. Yeah, I just missed the tail end of that other one with the dog that would bark when you were walking, and that's my problem. I shouldn't say my problem. Anyway, when we're walking and when my little boy sees another dog coming with another person, he'll start barking. He's pretty much calmed down now, but he still does it. Even we've rescued him, and he's around with other dogs who work with the rescue, so he's had dogs in and out, and it's not like unfamiliar with other dogs. So it's just when we're walking when he does that.
Okay, and the reason for that is I have to assume, what type of dog is it, by the way, Jim?
A mix.
No, we call them a blend. It's a blended breed. It's a blended breed. Just like me, I'm a blended breed. The thing to remember, Jim, and a lot of people misinterpret this, is that Dogs bark when people come to your house because that's their territory. That's their hood, so to speak. When you take your dog out for a walk on a 6-foot lead, that 6-foot lead now becomes their hood, their territory. So even the most mellow dog very often will become a little bit more assertive when he's out on a walk. When he sees another dog, he's just being more territorial. The more important thing to me is, what do you do? What do you do when the dog starts to bark and you're taking him for a walk?
Well, I found out when he'll stop, I'll get him up on the curb, because we don't have sidewalks around our area here. Get him up on the curb there, and he'll kind of chew on the grass and kind of take a look. That's when he kind of calms down. But But
isn't that, if he likes to chew on the grass and go on the curb, and you take him there right after he barks, aren't you in fact reinforcing the barking by saying, well, you barked and now you get a reward by going and eating the grass?
Oh, no, he doesn't like to eat grass. It's almost like, to me, nervousness. I mean, you're better than I am, but kind of like nervousness. I'll get him up there, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm here. He still keeps an eye on the dog.
Yeah, but here's the scenario, Jim. When the dog is reacting in motion and he's being territorial, and you respond in any way by being positive or taking him to a different area like you do, or some people will yell, shut up, knock it off, whatever they do. The problem is that the dog is receiving attention at that moment for that behavior, and that's how they associate. So what often happens, excuse me, and I've said this a million times, is the best resolution to a barking dog when you're walking him is nothing. What you need to do when the dog is barking, I joke that I use the term with my dogs at the beginning, it's none of your concern, and I never stop. I continue walking. They can be barking, and I continue walking till they realize over a period of time that barking is not going to afford them any type of a response on my part, and therefore there's no need to keep trying it. And that's what I mean by dogs learning through association. So one of the best things you can do is, when the dog is barking at the dog, don't say a word, not a word. If he wants to bark, fine, but don't stop. Don't pay attention to it. Continue walking in a straight line, and it's not going to happen overnight, but little by little, you'll start to realize that he may bark once or twice when he sees another dog as a possessive scenario, but he's not going to be the type of barking that you're talking about. So it's just a matter of inadvertently, by stopping him from barking at that point, or moving him or taking him to a different area, you're reinforcing that behavior. What we want to do is say that behavior gets you no response whatsoever. Does that make sense to you there, Jim?
Oh, definitely. I've done that a little bit, but I didn't think it was working, so I just need to keep on.
Yeah, let me explain to you about things that don't seem like they're working. If they don't seem like they're working, that means they're working. In other words, very often it takes some time, and people say, well, I don't think it's working, so I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try that, then I'm going to try this, then I'm going to try that. Exactly. So the dog barks a little bit here, barks a little bit there, pees a little bit here, pees a little bit there. You have to focus on one specific approach. At this point, we can diversify later on, but we need to focus on one specific approach at this point, make all the difference in the world. Sounds to me like you have a great dog. I'm glad I was able to train you, Jim.
Yeah,
I hope you give me a call back in a couple of weeks. Let me know how everything's going. If not, we'll go a little bit further with you, okay?
Okay, Doc. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Oh, by the way, can you tell what your dog is thinking by their body language or his body language?
Let's say after the fact, yeah. Oh, I should have done that because he did that. Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020, even with our four poor friends. You have a great day. Stay safe. Keep walking that dog. Call me back. Let me know how you're doing, and I appreciate that phone call. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Still coming up, I'd love to hear from some people that maybe have rescued or worked with a dog or a cat that may have been been abused and how long it took them and what are some of the approaches they took. And I'll give you my approach coming up a little bit later, but we're going to talk about that coming up. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break, which, by the way, is the best time to get through. 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. I still got some books to give away and a bunch of T-shirts to give away. And I got some calming discs to give away from my friends over at acornpets.com. Great time to call me. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The question of the day, and I still may send you a gift, is can you read your dog or cat's body language? Do you know what they're thinking or what they want just by looking at them? Give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA. Now, one of the reasons I'm talking a lot about my YouTube channel and expanding is I get information from all around the world that most people would never hear about. I just got this report the other day coming out of London from the University of Sussex, and I never would have thought about this. You know, I'm not a big fan of flea collars, and if you want to use flea treatments recommended by your vet, that's great, and do it. However, I saw the headline that pet flea treatments are poisoning wild birds. High levels of harmful pesticides from pet flea treatments in birds' nests linked with animal fur are leading to the increased mortality rate of younger birds. A recent study reveals that pet flea and tick treatments are poisoning wild birds. The study found that the songbirds that collect and line their nests with pet fur are at greatest risk. That's kind of interesting, and that's one of the things I'm going to be doing on the YouTube channels. I'm going to be doing a weekly or a bi-weekly update on all the great information, some of it great, some of it not so great, coming in from around the world when it comes to it. No one else is doing that, so youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. It's worth it. Let's go to where are we going here? Let's go to Cindy in Temple City. Hi, Cindy. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi. How are you?
I am doing good, Cindy. How about yourself? What can I do for you?
Well, I've been feeding feral cats for about 30 years, and they come and go. When I capture them all, I have them neutered. I have them vaccinated. I have a company that does it because I'm doing it for the community. Well, and even though I've got right now 7, and I've been doing this with this 7 for the last 3 years, the oldest one is 22 years old.
God
a feral,
bless you.
22 years old. Can you imagine that?
I can't.
And I know exactly what they want by their body language. I mean, any one of them, I know them so well that I know. But I want to tell you a story that I had never seen in my 30 years. I was feeding 4 in the back and 3 in the front, and one female was not showing up, and she likes to be first in eating. And I kept calling her and doing my little whistle, and her sister left her dish that she was eating. She left, and she came back in a little while with her sister Lulu. Oh, I'd never, ever seen that. She actually went after her sister to let her know, you better come and get your food. Someone else is going to eat it. That was remarkable.
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting, Cindy, having been involved with feral rescue for all the years you've been. It never ceases to amaze me. Anyone who says I know everything doesn't know anything. I mean, I've been doing this for God knows how many years, and I learn every day. But it's amazing to me over the years the miraculous ways that you notice or you can visualize the compassion of animals have to perhaps other animals that they know, whether it be a kitten saving a kitten. I remember years ago, there was a major fire on Long Island, and the kittens were all burned pretty badly, but the mother went in and she brought out one kitten at a time, and through the fire, through the flames, one kitten at a time, another kitten at a time, and saved their lives by going back and forth. And I remember at that point, I was the contributing pet editor for the Today Show, and I remember bringing the kittens and the mother on healing because she had just recently been burned. And I was trying to explain to people that when you say it's just a dog or it's just a cat or it's not the same as people, the compassion, I don't know why we have this human ego, but the compassion that animals have for other animals, especially animals within their own group or their own family, is just as strong as any human relationship I've ever seen. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%. And, you know, when I get a stray, which I haven't had for about 3 or 4 years, what I do so that they understand that this new cat is okay and whatever is that during feeding time, I sit down right on the cement and watch them eat, and they look at me like, okay, she's allowing this cat, and they get along, and then I don't have to do that anymore. They just accept that one cat. You know what I mean?
Just amazing.
And when I've gone through so many. I mean, I probably in my 30 years has gone through 60 cats.
That phone number. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-575. Anyone ever tell you how much I hate paper? I just am not a paper person. Let me get right to the phones here. We'll go to Michael first. Then we have Pam, and then we have Paul as well. But right now, let's go to Michael in Beverly Hills. Hey, Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Warren, I wanted to give a positive report on the Lucy pet food. I was pleased to see I go all the way out to Point Doom in Malibu to the vet. I've got a great vet, Dr. Lupo, and he sells the Lucy pet food. So my 100-pound German Shepherd, I put him on that. He was having trouble with weight and sebaceous cysts. He used to get them constantly on his shoulder. And I switched to the Lucy pet food, the salmon, and he loves it, and no more cysts. It's amazing. And maintaining good weight. I think it's the protein to fat ratio in the Lucy pet food that's the key. And I can feed him more of it than the other food I had him on, and he's doing great.
It's also a combination. It's also a combination of the prebiotic and probiotic formula that they use. The people there are absolutely amazing. In fact, I just spoke to Joey Herrick the other day, actually last night, the CEO. It's one of those companies that walks the walk, and their main concern has always been the best product they can possibly have. And I often joke about this, and you can watch TV, and I'm seeing it's driving me crazy, but I'm watching all these celebrities that I used to love in movies. Well, I got my dog food company. I got my cat food company. I got my pet food company. I got this little company. I don't get it. I don't understand what their knowledge or their background is. But when you deal with someone like Lucy Pet Products, the reason I'm such a big supporter is that Joey and the entire group, they've been in the pet food business for years. It's not some money-raising group out of New York City that's them. It's them. And I think the compassion comes across in every product they make. Hey, listen, what better endorsement can I give than it's the food I feed my own pets? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and as far as the dogs and reacting and so on and so forth, looking at them, the German Shepherd, he's a big goof. Can't really react with him too much. He's goofy, but I did have a mini Aussie that I picked up. Well, he got picked up off the street down at East Adams and Compton, and Westside German Shepherd took him in where I volunteer, and I took the dog, Sydney. He was the most animated dog I've ever owned. He would give me that look before he'd bolt out the door. We have a place in Reno, and he'd just chase things for hours up on 12 acres. He was the most cool dog I've ever had. I had a Yorkie and a toy poodle that I could look at and have interaction with too. But I just German Shepherd. This one not so much. Good dog, great dog, just a big goof.
Well, you know what? People have such misinterpretations of German Shepherds. Years ago when I was doing the bulk of my military and security work, mostly it was German Shepherds. Now it's primarily Belgian Malinois, but it was mostly German Shepherds back. Remember, everyone used to call them police dogs. They didn't even call them German Shepherds. That's the dog I grew up with, and they're just, you're absolutely right. They can be the most incredibly well-balanced and super dogs, saving more lives than probably any other breed of dog out there, but at the same time, they can be the Three Stooges of the dog world.
Yeah, well, I've had others that are different and much more animated, but this one I picked up off the road south of Mojave, 7 miles out in the desert, 9 years ago, standing in the middle of the road. So I've had him ever since, and just outstanding. But Mini Aussie, man, I had to stare. I had to look at him in the eyes before I took him into the vet to put him down for renal failure. But
yeah, gosh, it's the toughest day. You know what? I was at, and then I got to take a break. Then I'll come back to Pam, Paul, and to you, I believe it is. I was at my vet's office the other day. Why was at my vet's office? You know, for years when my dog had to have their anal glands expressed, I did it. Those days are gone for Warren. No more anal expressing for Warren. I take him to my local vet and say, "Enjoy, have fun, do what you got, do what you got to do." But it's interesting to me that so many people just misinterpret and don't understand their dogs. I don't know. I don't get it. I understand.
They don't take the time to they just don't seem to take the time.
There you go, Michael. Hey, Michael, if I send you a T-shirt, send you a T-shirt, will you wear it?
A+ on Lucy Pet Food. A+ on Lucy Pet Food.
Bless you. Hey, listen, you're preaching. Go ahead.
Donate whatever you want to. Donate any treats or whatever you wanted to pass on my way to rescue.
Michael, I do appreciate that. And listen, say hello to my good friend Diane over at Westside German Shepherd Rescue, okay?
Will do.
They're all good people. All good people over. You have a great day, and I appreciate that phone call. Hey, a great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. I got to take a quick break. When I come back, I'll get to your calls. We got a whole hour to go. But I want you to really, really listen to this next spot I'm going to read, because it's really important and I want to share it with you. You know, over 35 of your dogs and you love your cats, and who doesn't love their dogs and love their cats? Stay tuned. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Hey, coming up in a little while, we're going to talk about helping cats as they get older with arthritis, things that you can do. I'm not talking about the vets. They'll take care of the medical issues. I have some other ideas that might be helpful as well. Also coming up, we're going to take a look at why dogs ignore their guardians on walks. And from my personal files, it was an interesting case. I wasn't back from overseas too long. My hair was still short. The only clothes I had was my fatigue shirt. But in order to resolve an issue with the dog that no one else could resolve, I sound egotistic, I don't mean it to be. I had to grow a beard, wear the strangest hat you can possibly imagine, and walk with a cane. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show, but it's kind of interesting how some people give up. I guess... and my listeners, you guys are just like me. There's no such thing as giving up. You know, we work till we resolve it, and if we don't get 100%, we'll live with 80 or 70%. That's the way it is. Hey, listen, our dogs put up with a lot more from us than we can ever put up from them. Great time to call me. The phone number here at the Pet Show, if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, jumping, humping, digging, scratching, barking, not getting along with other dogs, the phone number 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. Now, before I get back to you guys, and I'll get back to you in just a second, you're going to hear me talking an awful lot in the next couple of months about my own HugsAndKissesAnimalFund.org. And the reason for that is, you know, we have great organizations, and you should be supporting Delta Rescue and Lucy Pet Foundation, but Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund is indifferent. We're kind of like the United Way. With your help, I can raise the money and give it to like the woman who's helping with the feral cats, or a group in Iowa that has to have a sale to raise $50 to spay. These are the groups that do the bulk of the work. You don't know their names, you don't hear about them, but they're the ones with dog poop on their hands because they're out there doing the work. Those are the ones. Those are the organizations that my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund.org helps. They get no other help but from us. So if you want to help me out, go to the website. Totally nonprofit, 501c3, tax deductible, Hugs and Kisses animalfund.org. You're going to be hearing me talk a lot about it. It's going to be growing in leaps and bounds, and anything you as my listeners can do to help. And I know you want to help me save the thousands of animals we've done already and continue to do. Go to hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. Let me get right back to the busy phone lines here. We got Pam, we got Bruce, we got Paul. I believe it's Ula. I probably got your name wrong. I apologize already, but I'll get to it. Let's go to Pam. Hey, Pam, welcome to the show.
Hey, Warren.
Oh, man, if I knew it was you, I don't know if I would have picked up. This is my good friend, Pam Show, who probably is one of the most... How can I put it? Not only is she a good friend, but she's one of those people that walks the walks, fostering more dogs than I can ever get. How many dogs are with you right now?
I just have 4 right now.
Oh, just 4. Just 4. Yeah. Anyway, what can I do for you, Pam?
Okay. Oh no, I just wanted to share with you. You were talking about dogs and their memories and abuse and all that. Well, the current foster dog I have now, who I've had for over 2.5 years. She, at first when I got her, she was from a hoarding situation. At first when I got her, she was really good. She was fearful, but not to an extent. We'd go for walks, all fine. After about 4 or 5 months, she heard one dog bark behind a fence, and that was it. We can only go like certain areas. But I know it triggered something to her to get so scared. So we don't push it. I just, I take her across the street. She's good. She'd rather stay at home. But I know from the hoarding situation, she went through a lot, and I can see little things that scare her, and I know, I wish I could get into her head. It makes me so sad.
Yeah, well, if anyone can, Pam, I know it's you, but this is kind of something I wrote as kind of my opening, and it's so kind of on target with what you said. And I'm going to hold it up so you can, if you're on YouTube, you can see it. It said, dogs with an abusive past may associate certain objects or experiences with negative memories, triggering fear that manifests its various and often unexpected ways. So one of my dogs, for example, when I first got him, Willie, he manifests his fear by trying to be dominant with other dogs and humping them. That's his way of dealing with his fear and his phobia. So every dog is different. I'm going to talk about that one dog, but you have helped out so many foster dogs, Pam, and if anyone knows what it's like working with dogs that have suffered or been abused or neglected, sometimes neglecting and abuse go hand in hand. It's amazing what you do. And, I've seen the dogs. I know your dogs, and I know they come around. So I just wish there were other people out there that would just take the time, if they're fostering or adopting, and most of them do, to really get into the dog's head and understand it.
Yeah, I know.
Pam, take those. Listen, they want to go. Take them for a walk. Give me a call during the week, Pam. Take care.
Yeah. All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good one, Pam. I just love Pam Show. She is one of those people. I work with rescuers all across the country, all across the world, and every once in a while, you meet someone that people you hear me talk about on my show. You hear me talk about Pam Show. You hear me talk about Joy. You hear me talk about Joy. You hear me talk about Rescue Me. You hear me talk about organizations, Delta, that walk the walk, and they all do amazing work. But the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, this is my own. This was started by me when my first wife, Faye, passed away in 1990, and Faye was one of the first individuals that would be out there helping the small mom and pop organizations all across America, and that's how we got involved and started the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund on Long Island, and now we help animals all over the United States and Canada. And by the way, I'm actually heard now in Guam. I don't know. Is Guam what is Guam? Guam's not a state. What is? Anyone know what Guam is? It's I don't know what part of it. It's part of something. Anyway, the Pet Show is now heard in Guam as well. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take you guys in order, so I'm going to go. Bruce, I want to get to you about that rattlesnake thing. It's important. But let me go to Paul first, then to Hula first, and then we'll get right to Paul. I do got a couple of open lines, though, 866-870-5752. Can you read your dog or cat's body language? Can you read their body? Do you know what they're thinking just by watching them? Give me a call and let me know. But right now, let's go to Paul in Van Nuys. Hey, Paul, welcome to the Pet Show.
Warren, first of all, Thank you so much. I've called before, and your generosity and the gifts that you've sent me, I want to, Suzette, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do, and I'm very poor quality when it comes to technology, but I'm going to do my best I can to see that for your hugs and kisses, I want to send something. I want to give something back because you've done some very nice things. Right now, my life is, I'm going to be 80 next month, and
God bless you, Paul.
my life is very, very challenging. I'm very frightened. The loneliness, things have changed. My longtime girlfriend's in a nursing home, and she may not be around that much longer. I'm not good at facing things in life and death at the moment, but I did rescue a kitty, Fritzy. He's a big tabby. He wasn't my first choice, but the thing is, he's affectionate, but the thing is he will lick me, but he grabs me around his paws and he bites me quite hard. He's opened me up. I don't know how to deal with it because I had another kitty cat that was that I lost, a feral kitty that I had for 4 years, and so he's different. I don't. Sometimes I've dealt with it in hysterics and anger. I know it's wrong, but he's very tolerant. He's very, very tolerant to me, and very loving. He may have adopted some of my emotional problems. I'm not sure, but he
no. There's no doubt about it. They pick up. Our dogs and cats pick up on our emotions as well. But it's interesting when the cat is grabbing you and biting at you. A lot of people would just assume that it's really, really overly aggressive behavior, and it's not necessarily that. It's, in other words, she seems to be treating you like another cat. I'm not thrilled with the fact that she opened you up. But here's the most important thing that you can do, okay? When you live with a cat or a dog, the best thing that you can do as a guardian is observe, observe, observe. There's always a trigger. There's always something that changes: the dilation of the pupils, the position of the ears, the position of the tail, the position of the legs, the crouching, the up. All of these mean something. And so one of the best ways to resolve a situation like yours, where the cat is being assertive at times, is to pick up on that rather than confront the assertion. Don't let it happen. Walk away. Because when it happens, you're going to react. It hurts. She nips you. She bites you. She grabs you. It's going to hurt. So she's getting exactly the reaction she wants. If you can interpret what's going to happen before it happens, my good friend Kreskin used to say, I had that ability. What you need to do basically is just kind of be observant when you're with her, and any of the changes, and you'll start picking up more and more that she shows before she reacts, just get up and walk away. But
he's a boy, and I do that now. I react to it. I do.
Good.
I say, come on, Fritzy, let's get some foodies now, or let's go hop up. Hop up means I don't let him. He's never gone outside, but in where I live, it's inside, and it's a long corridor, and it's safe in there. Although he picks up on the new tenants that came, he has my personality. He's just as frightened of certain things as I am from time to time. But I do that now, and
well, listen. It sounds to me like
more and more.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like at this point in your life, with the things you're going through, your longtime girlfriend being away, I think your bond will get stronger and stronger. And let me give you one tip of advice, and let me give that advice to everyone out there. Having gone through the loss of a spouse at a very young age, my wife was 35, 36 when she passed away. And having gone through so many losses in the military and other, sometimes when you're going through your own form of PTSD, no matter what that may be caused by, one of the best things that you can do is just sit down and have that conversation with Fritzy. I got to move on, but have that conversation with Fritzy. I have, in my autobiography, which I don't talk about too much, there were a couple of times in my life, and I'm pretty explicit about that, about being suicidal, and how if it wasn't for animals and things. Anyway, if you've never done this, I'm going to urge you to do this. I don't know if you want you to hear it or not. If you go to my YouTube channel or my website, you all know my nephew, Michael Rosenbaum. He did Smallville for years. He played Lex Luthor and millions of other things. He has this incredible podcast called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. It's an amazing podcast. He interviews real celebrities. And he kind of wanted to interview me for a while, and I kind of didn't want it. He's my nephew, and blah, blah. But then eventually I did it, and he's amazing. He drug stuff out of me that I probably didn't want anyone to know. But if you get a chance, check it out. It's called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, or you can go to youtube.com /Warren Eckstein, and if you follow that down, you'll see it there. Check it out. I think I think it'll let you understand where I come from a little bit more, but also understand why my affinity and my affection for animals may be called even eccentric sometimes. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to Tahila with a dog bites. It's not unusual for a dog to bite their guardian's bed, and it could mean a lot of different things. I'll go over that with you when we come back. Bruce has some rattlesnake avoidance training, really, really important. And Nick in Temple City with a dog and smelly ears. We can't have that. Do have an open line or two. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break, and then we'll get right back to your calls. Phone number 866-870 KRLA, 866-870-5752. I appreciate that response, saying that he's going to help me out on my hugsandskissesanimalfund.org. Believe me, we're getting inundated, so that's why you hear me talking about it more. So check out hugsandskissesanimalfund.org. As I said, it is a 501c3, and it is tax deductible. No money comes out of it. Every penny you donate to hugsandskissesanimalfund.org goes directly to the small mom and pop groups. The expenses, everything comes directly from me. No money comes out of it. It all goes to the animals the way it should be. 866-870-KRLA. I have no idea how to pronounce this name, so is it Tuila? Welcome to the show. How do I pronounce your name?
Tawila.
Talima?
Tawila.
Talula. Okay, Talula, what can I do for you?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. So I just wanted to know, I've noticed for a couple months now, my dog has been biting her bed, and then she'll run to the couch and she'll jump on the couch and start biting the couch cushions. I just want to know, would you be able to tell me what that signals or what the signs of that are from?
Generally indicating, and it's very, very common, but generally indicating when a dog starts to bite either their bed or they start to bite their guardian's bed, generally it's indicative of some underlying health or behavioral issue. Could be a dental issue. How old is your dog?
She just turned a year last month.
Okay, so chances are her teeth are in pretty good shape, but it could be nutritional deficiency, it could be anxiety, could be lack of exercise. When a dog is bored, remember now, when a child is bored or a child is not feeling themselves, they're going to get into trouble with their hands. When a dog is anxious or a dog is not feeling themselves, they don't use their hands, their mouth becomes their hands, so therefore anxiety, stress, boredom, and other issues can actually cause that. Is it something, now you've had, the dog's a year old, how long have you had the dog?
Since May of 2024.
So how old was he when you got him?
She was approximately 10 weeks.
Okay, so my question to you, when did this start?
It started around, I would say, the end of September, the beginning of October last year.
Have there been any changes in your home? New boyfriend, new girlfriend, new kids, new dog, new furniture, new carpeting, new home? Anything change in your environment at all?
New furniture, and she got a new bed.
Okay. Well, one of the things with the new bed, if she's chewing on the new bed, that's pretty common when a dog gets something new for them to chew on it is not unusual. One of the things I'm going to recommend that you do is right off the bat, I would try to increase the dog's exercise as much as possible. If the dog is kind of chewing on her bed, maybe what I would do is find 1 or 2 items that only get put in her bed before she gets in there, so her focus is on those 2 items. But I would also, next time you make a trip to the vet, I would also have him check out her teeth, her gums, and any other issues that might be physically causing it. From a behavioral standpoint, it's usually stress, anxiety. Now, you've hit me with a lot of things, okay? Number 1, new furniture. Brand new environment for the dog. How does a dog claim the new environment? Not by touching it, by chewing on it with their mouth. So all of that is aggravating but calming behavior. I would increase the dog's exercise, check with the vet, and try to figure out if you can watch her just before she starts to do it. Is there some trigger point that's coming up that's creating a situation where she wants to chew? Is there something that's stressing her out? You're watching something on TV, arguing with a significant other, next door neighbor starting up a new motorcycle, any of those things. So try to be aware of that. But I would definitely have the teeth and gums checked. But it sounds to me like it's a behavioral issue with some good behavior, more exercise. It's going to make all the difference in the world for you. She's just under a year right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to have the lovely Suzette pick up. And what I'm going to send you, what do I want to send you? I should ask. Well, I'm going to go back. Tallulah, does she wear a collar all the time?
No, she only wears it when we take her out.
Okay, she's only okay. So I'm putting you back on hold, and I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. Take a little time to get there. A year-old dog, it sounds to me like if you follow the advice and build up some of the confidence, build up some of the self-image, it can go a long, long way. You know, I remember years ago sitting in Europe. I don't know where I was. I might have been in Amsterdam. Who remembers anything when you're in Amsterdam? But I might have been in Amsterdam at the time, working with some of the military, whatever I was doing there. Anyway, the bottom line is that it's. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Every once in a while, I back off on something, but I'll talk about it in the further. I'm not hiding anything, just that it wasn't the appropriate time to talk about it. Let me do this, okay? I want to get to you, Bruce. You've been holding on for a long time. You know what? Let me go to Bruce right now. Hey, Bruce, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Good, Warren. How are you? And thanks for.
I'm doing good. Are you involved with rattlesnake abatement?
No, but I need to get my dog trained. I'm leaving, I bought a piece of property that's kind of out in the country, and it's about an acre. And I know that there are vipers out there in Texas, and I want to go there and spend some time, but I'm concerned about some of the vipers there. They have rattlesnakes, moccasins, water moccasins, copperheads. So they have different vipers there. So how do you train a dog to avoid those things?
There are specialists that have, and I have mixed emotions about this because I'm a big snake lover as well, but there are organizations and groups in California, there are groups pretty much all around the country, I'm sure in Texas, that give rattlesnake abatement courses. Very often they'll use defanged rattlesnakes or they have them in a confined area, teaching the dogs the appropriate fear factor when approaching one of these so they stay away from them. So what I would be doing right now is I would go online, Bruce, and I would look for, and I know there's some in San Bernardino, in Riverside County. I don't know, I'm in Arizona now, there's a bunch here, but I don't want you to come to Arizona. So I would just kind of Google or check with your vet. There's also rattlesnake vaccination. You know that, right?
Yeah, I've heard pros and cons on those. Do they work?
Well, what they say, and my knowledge of it right now is basically that when you get the rattlesnake, and I've been bitten by a rattlesnake, so believe me, it's no fun. I wound up in the hospital for almost a week in San Francisco. But anyway, the rattlesnake vaccine, supposedly, if they do get bitten by a rattlesnake or another viper, not sure about the other vipers, but definitely the rattlesnake, that the effect of the venom will still be there, but it won't be as harsh as it would be without the vaccination. So I would have a real good conversation with your vet. I would check in Texas. Also just Google rattlesnake abatement for your dog, and I'm sure there are some good organizations out there, but I'm sure your vet could probably recommend one as well.
Right. Now, the ones that I know they use shock collars to teach them to avoid it. I was just trying.
God, what did people do? What did people do before electricity? You know, what did people do before shock collars to train these dogs? There are other ways to do it. I mean, I am 100%, 99 and 9/10% against any form of electronic collar. However, if it's a matter of life and death and you're infested in an area with rattlesnakes and you really educate yourself about the person that's doing it, speak to the vet. There are other ways to do it. There are ways to do it without using electricity. Give it a lot more thought. I'm not going to advise one way or the other. I just want you to go through some rattlesnake abatement with your dog.
Okay. All right.
Bruce,
I knew about the shock.
Yeah, no, a lot of people use a shock. Some, you know, and if it saves your dog's life, I would never deny it. But I just believe there are other ways to do it as well. Appreciate that. What a great call, by the way. It is true. I mean, I live in Arizona now, and when I take Molly and Willie for a walk, I always have my eyes on any a possibility of snakes. Hey, Nick, don't go anywhere. I got a couple of open lines, which is pretty rare. I got plenty of time. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. I do have some T-shirts. I do have some books. I do have some calming and recovery products from the amazing people at acornpets.com. So great time to give me a call. The question of the day was pretty simple. I'm surprised you didn't jump right on it. Can you read your dog or cat's body language? Do you know what your dog or cat wants just by looking at them? I believe that most people do, but would you know? Give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back at your calls. Now, for many years now, you heard me talk. We are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to call me. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. I do have a couple of T-shirts and books to give away. 866-870-5752. You know, I'll get to you in a second, Nick. While I was taking that last break, I got a text from someone that really kind of PO'd me. Kind of telling me, knock it off. Dogs are dogs. They're not part of the family. They're just the family dog or the family cat. But dogs and cats are not part of the family. They're just a family pet. Whew. Man, would I love to have a conversation with him. What do you think about that? Help me out here. Do you agree with this guy that dogs and cats are just dogs and cats and not part of the family? Give me a call. Let me know. If you get through, I'll send your dog or cat or your family member a great gift. I can't believe he texted me. He doesn't know who I am. Do you agree or disagree that dogs or cats are not part of the family, just the family dog or cat, or as I've told you for years, are they actually part of the family? Give me a call. What do you think? 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I do have some open lines. Let me take a call here from Nick in Temple City. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the show.
My 7-year-old lab, Cara. She's a family member, a friend, a confidant, a listener, a therapist. She does it all.
And she drives you to the store as well, right?
Yeah, well, she's a good watchdog too.
Yeah, great. So I know you just hit the nail on the head. You have a Labrador, right?
Yes.
As far as I know, they have floppy ears, right?
Yes.
And because of the floppy ears, right? What often happens is
one more than the other. She'll scratch it to the point where it's red, and we try to put some balm on it, but we clean her ears every week, but it's just one more than the other. And I hate going to the vet to give her antibiotics. That seems to be the...
Well, has the vet recommended another alternative for the ear that you can do at home without rushing back and forth to the vet and the antibiotics?
Well, the cleaning. I mean,
besides the cleaning, if the dog is, and this is a question for your vet, but if the dog is scratching their ear constantly, and you can't be at the vet constantly, and the scratching is not going to help the ear get any better, and it's only going to make a habit, if it partially is habit, get worse. There are drops on the market that you can use. I have to use them with my dog pretty frequently.
Oh, we've had in the past we've had used the drops, but it's like we're at the kind of in between point where it's not so bad, but it just one smells worse than the other.
Usually, when you have an ear that smells, it's indicative of some type of infection.
Okay.
Or yeast, and if you're talking to your vet. And you've been going to the same vet for a while, and the vet's doing what he can do, but you're not getting results that you think you may get. It's nothing against the vet, but why not get a second opinion from a specialist at this point?
Yeah, maybe. What about diet? Is there anything dietary wise that?
Yeah, diet has an awful lot to do with so many things. You know, our ears, our eyes. Diet's real important. If you have the dog on a good, solid diet like Lucy Pet Food, you hear me recommend it all the time. That would be absolutely. This way, I know she's getting the prebiotics. I know she's getting the probiotics. So I would definitely try to switch over to LucyPetProducts.com at this point. I'm not giving away right now, but I would definitely switch some over to them. But again, I think Nick. From what you're telling me, and I could hear it in your heart, how much you love this dog, I could hear it in your voice. I think getting a second opinion is warranted at this point, just to clear your own mind and just to say, you know what, we're doing everything we can, or you know what, there's another step we can take.
There's another step. Okay. All right. We'll certainly work on that.
You give her a big hug. You know what, Nick? I'm going to send you a T-shirt. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up a T-shirt saying, "None of my friends walk upright," is on its way to you, and I appreciate that call. Let's see. Let me do this. Let me take a call. Let me take a call from Eleanor in Beverly Hills. Hi, Eleanor. Welcome to the show.
I just tried going on Amazon to order your Hugs and Kisses.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come up. And what comes up is your book. I did it 3 times.
Yeah, you know why? Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Hugs and Kisses is no longer available at Amazon.
Oh. Okay.
So, we're not going to be manufacturing, but there are some, and the shelf's life long. Here's what you do. Go to Walmart.com. I know they have a supply. Walmart.com has the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplements.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And what kind of dog do you have?
Oh, I have a little poodle, and she's as cute as can be. Her name's Sadie.
Cute. Little Sadie. Will you give Sadie a big hug and a kiss? Go to, where am I sending you? I'm sending you to Walmart. That's where you're going. Go to Walmart.com, and I appreciate that phone call. Yeah, we're not selling Hugs and Kisses at Amazon. You'll hear me talk more about that later. Going to WalmartDirectly.com. Let's see. We have Laura in Silver Lake with a Pyrenees, one of my favorite breeds and loud noises. We have Nancy in Fullerton with a peeing dog. And we have Debbie in Costa Mesa about pets not being part of the family. I want to try to get to all 3, but I got to take a quick break here, so don't go anywhere. I love you guys. Debbie, Nancy, Laura, don't go anywhere. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. I was going to get to that subject. I wanted to talk about this dog that was really abused and what I had to do. Basically, I did some research on this dog. This is many years ago. I did some research on the dog and found out how abused the dog was, specifically being abused by someone that had a deep voice, wore a hat, had a beard, and walked with a bit of a limp. And in order to get the dog through that, I had to emulate that person, and so I was clean shaven at the time, but I grew a beard. I had a stick taped to my leg. I got photos of it. I should post them this week. A stick taped to my leg, and counter-condition the dog to associate this stuff now with positive versus fear. So it took me almost 8 months to bring this dog around, but I got to tell you, he lived happily ever after. It was worth it. So no matter what abuse they've been through, time, patience, love, hugs, and kisses can make all the difference in the world. All right, let's go to Debbie in Costa Mesa, take you guys in order. Hey, Debbie, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be with you.
Nice to hear you talking, Debbie. What can I do for you?
The guy who wrote the letter that said the dogs are just not your family members should be flogged.
I'm
unconditional love.
Yeah, what kind of dogs do you have, Debbie?
I have 4 rescues.
God bless you. And so you agree with like me that, I often joke that years ago every dog in America was named Duke, Duchess, Queenie, and Whitey. Now it's Saul, Henry, and Joe. Sounds like a poker game on a Friday night in Encino Hills. So the fact that we're accepting dogs, and I think it was time, we've always done it, but a lot of people haven't, that dogs and cats for that matter are now accepted or appreciated as part of the family, rather than just the family dog or cat. And someone like yourself who does rescues, I'm sure, has real strong thoughts about that.
Yes, I do. I care for my dogs very much.
I'm sure you do. What a great call, by the way. You're absolutely right. But listen, don't go anywhere. I want to put you on hold. I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm sending you a T-shirt as well. Nancy, I'm going to get to you. Laura, I'm going to get to you. But first, can you claim your pet on your taxes? Well, for years I was able to, but you're not. When can you do it? Service animals as a medical expense deduction. You may qualify for this tax deduction if you have a certified service animal, such as a guide dog for visual or hearing impairment. Service animals for diagnosed medical conditions may also qualify. If you're a veteran, thank you. If you're a veteran with PTSD and have a trained service dog to assist them through medical episodes, they can also deduct the cost of food, training, and medical care as a medical expense. Guard dogs and business animals count as a business expense as well. And foster pets are a charitable contribution deduction. If you foster pets through a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, you may be able to deduct the cost for their care as a charitable contribution. That's if these costs aren't reimbursed by the nonprofit. Also, if your pet is making money as a performer, pay attention to the options below. You can strategize. I don't think anyone has to worry about that. But I guess in certain circumstances, you are able to use your pets. When I was training bomb dogs and drug dogs and stuff like that, my own pets included, they were able to be deducted. But I don't know if I would play that game unless you have a legitimate reason. I would kind of stay away from that. You know what? Let me go to Laura. Then we'll go to Nancy. Hey, Laura. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Laura. It's Laura. Thank you for taking my call.
My joy. What can I do for you, Laura?
I have a rescued Great Pyrenees. He's 12 years old. I've had him since he was 2. And I live in a very old 1920s building. It's a big building, and the windows go in and out, and they bang against the building. And there's nothing I can do about it except for close mine. But he gets terrified. He starts shaking and whining and pacing. And I try to calm him down. I hug him and I talk to him. And sometimes it gets so bad, he's shaking so bad that I have to give him a drug. But I don't want to have to drug him every time the wind blows.
Yeah, what you need to do.
If there's anything else.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to make a recording of those windows banging. And what you do is in the evening when you're sitting around on your computer, just watching TV with your Great Pyrenees, one of my favorite breeds, by the way, and you play it at a volume that's barely audible, and you're hugging and kissing and loving and giving him treats, little by little, we can count a condition and take something that he's afraid of and turn it into a positive. Now, he's how old? 12 years old, you said? Listen, I can do a lot of things, but I've yet to perform miracles. Okay, so this is also, you know, because he hears differently now, things are different now, but that would be the approach I take. But I'm also going to send you a product. I'm going to send you something. It's made by a great company in Arizona. It's actually called acornpets.com. And anyone out there that has a dog or a cat that wants calming products or products for recovery, this is the company I recommend. acornpets.com. They have these little discs that you can put on your dog's collar, and sometimes I've noticed, and sometimes I've got a good response from people that say that it's really helped calm them down. I would recommend, I'm going to send you one, by the way. I would recommend you using that, but I think most importantly right now is desensitizing the dog by recording that sound, playing it at a low volume where he's not reacting, and over a period of time, increasing it just a little bit at a time. It's going to take months, and making sure that every time he hears it, something positive is going to happen, and little by little, that should help you out.
Oh, my God, amazing. I have always rescued all my dogs, and they absolutely give me so much love. And I've also been a professional dog walker for 18 years, and I'm with dogs all day, and they definitely respond to love, and I know exactly what they're going to do right before they're going to do it.
There you go. There you go. And anyway, great call, by the way. By the way, Laura, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to send you one of those discs from Acorn Pet Products. And Laura, join go to my Hugs and Kisses AnimalFund.org. I'm going to need all the help I can. We are being inundated with these small mom and pop organizations that no one knows about. But those are the ones that need the help. And I'm telling you, we send 500 to this one, 1,000 to this one. Go to the website, hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. Whatever you donate is tax deductible. More important than that, whatever you donate goes directly to help the animals. I need your help. Verily ask for it. Go to hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. A quick break and then right back to you. Now, you just heard me answer a call, a peeing call, which a lot of people want. So write this number down. I start my national, Canadian, actually we're heard all over the country now and all over the world with Armed Forces Radio and Guam as well. So write this number down. You'll be my first call. That show starts at 5 minutes after 1, but you can start calling at 1 o'clock. This is my national, and that goes for everyone out there. If you didn't get through, you're driving around, same type of show, give away the same things. Write this number down. This is the number for my national Canadian Armed Forces Radio show. Radio America starts at 1 o'clock, actually 3 or 4 minutes after. Toll-free number, same type of show, same show. Write this number down, 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. That show starts at 1 o'clock. Be patient. Let it ring for a while. It comes out of Radio America in Washington, D.C., and then goes up on a satellite all over God knows where. But as I said, it's the same type of show. In the meantime, I want you all go to my YouTube channel. It's free. I know I've been talking a lot about it today, but the reason I say that, there's going to be some major changes, and I know you like following all the stuff that I'm doing, so go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. While you're there, subscribe. It's absolutely free. Check out the podcast with my nephew, Michael Rosenbaum, as well. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Suzette. Till next week. You all know what to do by now. Give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, and a bigger hug and a kiss right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you once again for listening to The Pet Show.